welcome to a brand new episode of Delivering Marketing Joy. I am your host, Kirby Hassman, and joining me today, a brand new guest, a brand new rock star. He's the CEO of Sales Guru Global and a best-selling author of How to Become a Sales Master. I am so excited to dive in on these topics because I think all of us want to become sales masters. Navid Momeni, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the time.
Absolutely. I'm excited to not only learn a bit myself, but also to share for the audience. So let's jump right in. I mean, we're living in an interesting time right now. So for those listening, what are some of the best methods for prospecting to increase sales in 2022 and beyond?
That's a great question, Kirby. So as once COVID started, things changed. And what I mean by that is before COVID started, the salespeople, especially the business development representatives or SDRs, they had a higher chance of getting hold of the prospects, right? And then after that, I never forget when it happened. I was managing a sales team at a company, a tech company here in downtown Toronto, and all of my reps they were all shocked. They didn't know anything about the future. They didn't know what to do, right? And everyone was in the panic mood. And this is a time that I always tell people that was what COVID taught us was the best timing for the leaders to step up and for bosses to step down, right? My job was to make sure to lead the team going through this uncertainty and not knowing what's going to happen with some of our clients. People were worried about their jobs. People were worried about their contracts out there, and clients not signing it now because of COVID and all that.
Yeah.
So once COVID started, I always tell people that, and still in some areas, still it's going. In some areas, the COVID is down. You have to think outside of the box, right? To do that is, if so many people are working from home, then then the good news is you don't have to go through the gatekeeper. That's a good
true. Yeah, that's true.
Right? Having said that, what's the best channel to do your prospecting, right? For me, still, till this day, I always say that I'm a fan of, the traditional, way of picking up the phone and do the cold calling. I see even right now my team, my top guys, top performers, they get most of their ops through cold calling. Having said that, you have to be smart and you have to use different methods. So one of them is to make sure that you're doing prospecting through LinkedIn and Twitter, right? Which is very useful. And all you have to do is basically you have to know how to use LinkedIn Navigator and you have to know how to do prospecting on Twitter. And so many salespeople are not leveraging Twitter. And this is the time that make sure you're doing prospecting not only through LinkedIn but also through Twitter, but also through Facebook, Instagram, or even even Clubhouse. If you are an expert in specific topic, open a chat room. My sister, she's an immigration lawyer, and she finds lots of clients. Right, by going there and just sharing her knowledge about the immigration from Middle East to US or Canada. So these are the areas that I tell people you have to think outside of the box, right? This is the first one. So through social media and especially through Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, you don't have to be worried about the gatekeepers. The second one I would say is attending virtual events. If you are afraid of COVID and you don't want to attend in-person events, there are lots of virtual events happening, right? So this is very important to make sure that you are taking advantage of these events and do your research. Do your research and see, for example, if you're selling a solution that is that can help companies with their finance department. Do your research and see where do all the accountants and CFOs go.
Yeah.
What kind of events do they usually attend, right? And be part of that, right? And still it's one of the ways that you can find good quality leads and prospects, right?
Yeah.
So this is the second one. The third one is, which so many people don't do, is asking for referrals.
Mm.
At the time, for you to go back to some of the clients that you have been working with, for years, and and I have a sample email that I'm always more than happy to share with anyone who's listening to this podcast. They can always reach out to me and I can share that with them. Where it's a very respectful email to your existing clients and asking them to help you build your portfolio. And this message is simple. The same way that Mr. Client, I've been taking care of you, I would love to do the same for your friends or colleagues in the industry. Is there one or two names that can come to your mind that you think can use our products and services? If it is, there are two ways to refer them. A, just forward this email to them, or B, just send me the names. I take care of the rest. Yeah. Right? And so many people, salespeople, are shy of that. But I tell them, especially because of COVID and all that, this is the time that you have to go reach out to them and make sure obviously they're happy with you and your company and all that. But then ask them for a referral. The fourth way for prospecting, which is you have to be very consistent doing this, is showing your expertise in social media. But what I mean by that is, if you are a consultant, I always say, salespeople are good sales consultants, right? Try to share posts, daily, weekly, and share something that can add value to your prospects industry. So, hey, for example, here's an article that I recently wrote. Did you know that 68% of hotels last year they closed down because of ... That's your article. And then when people click on it, when they read it, they can learn 2-3 points that they didn't already know, right? Consistently, when you keep doing this, when you keep repeating this, when you keep providing content that delivers value to your potential prospects, then that's the time you get a message from one of those people in your inbox that, and this has happened, one of my reps, he's amazing at doing that. That he gets messages a lot, on LinkedIn. Hey, really enjoyed, reading this, article that you mentioned. This thing, actually, our organization is dealing with some of these challenges. Let's schedule a call. Yeah. And the final point is, remember, just prospecting is a number game. Before COVID, maybe the touch points were between 20 to 30, or maybe less. After COVID, it's double. It's between 36 or 44 touch points. I was reading an article the other day to get hold of the prospect. So don't get discouraged. Make sure that you know your ideal customer profile, you know who exactly you're reaching out to, and have a clear game plan. Sometimes you don't need to make $50-$60 a day. Sometimes you can make only $20, $25, $30 a day, but you're going with a customized message. You know exactly who you're reaching out to. You have done your prep. You know what's your game plan. You know why exactly the organization have to work with your company, and just simplify their life and show them, how exactly it can help them to get from point A to point B.
Man, that's great stuff, and it's a lot to digest, and so I love that, because I think thinking outside the box, providing value through social media, you're speaking my language there, so I love that. So why is the proper handling of objections such a big deal in sales today?
That's so many salespeople, they hate objections. They don't like objections, and everyone wants that easy way of, Mr. Customer, this is my product. Let me show you one feature after another feature after another feature. You like it, you do, great, sign. Maybe this happens maybe once in 1,000 years. Because it doesn't work like that. So obviously, it's very important when someone's throwing an objection at you. First, we have to see if it's an objection or a smoke screen. It's very important, right? You have to identify if it's an objection or a smoke screen. If it's an objection, then good. Now you know ways, to handle that objection. If it's a smoke screen, then you have to, try to clarify and try to understand what's the real objection behind that smoke screen, because that smoke screen is fake. It's not real, right? It's like reaching out to say, hey, before committing to a meeting, I need to speak to my business partner. This is not telling me anything. What's the real reason this person is not committing to a meeting, right? So that's why, first we need to understand if it's an objection or a smoke screen. And then we need to understand, if it's at the beginning of the call when you're doing your prospecting, or is it in the middle of your demos that someone throw an objection at you? Because there's a huge difference. If it's at the beginning of the call, you're doing prospecting, you're cold calling, you're reaching out to someone to schedule an introduction call, right? And the person says, hey, you know what? Sorry, I'm not interested. So here's the 3 steps, easy steps that you follow. You can handle any objections, any. The first one is very simple. You need to listen and acknowledge. So the worst is when someone tells you I'm not interested and the salesperson go, no, but you need to listen to me because of this. Our company's top 10, in North America. We work with clients of Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Boom. You're done. You're done. You have the video of 10 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds to capture that person's attention. Right. And if you can put right at the beginning, it shows what? You're not listening to the prospect. So always you need to show that you listen and you acknowledge what they say. Hey, you know what? You're not interested? Absolutely. I completely understand where you're coming from. I know what you mean. You must be getting 1,000 calls like this. Immediately the person goes, okay, good. This person is listening to me, right? Okay. And the second step, you need to tell them and give them a sentence that they didn't expect to hear. Something that other 70, 80 cold callers that day didn't say to that person, right? So for example, if the person goes, hey, you know what? Thank you, we are good. We are already working with, I don't know, one of your competitors, right? So many times, again, the rookie salespeople, what they do is they start bashing the competitor, right? Oh, you guys are working with them. Yeah, but yeah, those guys are awful at this. They are at this. We're actually better than them because of this, this, this. A, you're questioning now the person's intelligence, like why you went with that one competitor. B, again, it shows that you're not listening to them, right? Well, how can we break that negative habit or that's the self-defense mood of the prospect when they say, hey, you know what, they're already working with these guys. Then that's the time for you as a salesperson, in order to surprise them and break that, that habit, you just say, oh, wow, those guys are actually amazing. Congratulations. This actually shows, you know a lot about your business and you guys picked an amazing vendor. That way, immediately the prospect goes, wait a second, is this guy, promoting their competitor business or what's going on here? And then that's the time you say, having said that, today, the clients that we have today, so many of our clients, they actually switch from that company to our company because of A, B, C, D, 4 of your value points, value points. Are you guys dealing with any of these challenges with these guys today? Like, when was the last time that you had to experience a shutdown? When was the last time that it took 48 hours for someone to get back to you? Then you break that, and you tell them something that you didn't even expect to hear. Or, the person say, I'm not, interested. And then you say, hey, you know what? Absolutely, you're right. You shouldn't be interested because I'm just a stranger reaching out to you today. But what I want to tell you is so many of my customers today, they told me the exact same thing that you were telling me. They weren't interested at the beginning when I reached out to them. Today, they are telling me that it was the best decision they ever made by giving me 5 minutes of their time.
I like it.
Well, very professional. That's the second step. And the third step, you go back to your point, you request a meeting.
I like it. Yeah, sorry. That's really good. You're chock full of great information here. Now, final question for you, buddy. What are some things I love this question? In doing research, this was something I saw that you answered. What are some things you should never say during a qualification call? I'm super curious about this.
There are lots of things.
I suppose that's true.
There are lots of things that you should never say during a qualification call. If I want to pick 5 or 6 things, the first one is the dead end questions.
Okay.
Never ever say, dead end questions. An example of the dead end questions is like, yeah, Mr. Customer, so are you happy with your current provider? And if the person said yes, right?
Yeah.
We'll take the conversation from there, right?
Right.
Versus I always tell people, it's like, when you tell your friend, your buddy, hey man, like, are you, good, happy, healthy, and all that? Yeah, no, yeah. That's the end question. Instead, you should ask your friend, when was the last time you took a trip, right? When was the last time that you were able, to catch up sometime with your, ex soccer buddies? When was the last time that you were able, to go out with your friends, grab a drink? When was the last time that you did a blood test that everything came back normal? By asking 4 or 5 questions, then your friend will go, oh shit, I thought I was happy and healthy, but I don't think I am, right? So it's the same thing with this, right? Dead end questions. Never ask those dead end questions. One of the things that I dislike, I don't want to use the word hate, is when someone in the qualification call say, are you the decision maker?
Yeah.
Right? Like right straight, because the point here is if the person is a decision maker, they would say yes. And nowadays you don't have one decision maker, you have multiple decision makers. If the person is not a decision maker, and they might feel a little bit offended by that question, meaning that are you asking this because you think because I'm a accountant, director or VP of something, I'm not the decision maker? Like, what are you hoping to achieve by asking that question?
Right.
You put yourself in a very bad position. Another one this one I can say I hate, when people say to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And when they say that, it just like it just goes here, and I'm like, come on. Yeah. To be honest with you, yeah. To be honest with you, this. To be honest with you, that. Like, what do you mean? You haven't been honest with me? Now you're just being honest with me. Another one I would say they should never ever say is bashing your competitors. Never ever do that. Never ever try to talk bad about your competitors and all that. Arguing or going back and forth instead of their objection. So that's the part that if you're in the middle of the discovery call and if they throw an objection, then that's the part that you use that LAR method, which is you listen, you explore, you try to basically you listen, you acknowledge, you explore that where is the real reason of this objection coming from, and at the end, you basically respond, and then you'll make sure that confirm that you were able to answer their question or their objection. And one last one is don't make it look like a investigation. I've had so many people. Sometimes, when I listen to, when I go to sales companies and train their salespeople, I can listen when I shadow them that the prospect is almost done. When you say, okay, what about this? Now, especially those type of companies that they do bank qualification. Now, here's a list of questions for budget. Here's a list of questions for authority. Here's a list of questions for need. Here's a list of questions for timing. And if you make it look like investigation or Q&A, then at some point the prospect would be like, buddy, just show me what you have, or ask me these questions, right? So you have to make sure you set that expectations in advance, ahead of your call, that I'm going to ask you certain questions for 10 minutes in order to gain a better understanding of your point A, where you are today, and your point B, where you want to be in the future. And then at that point, we'll realize, we can figure out if there's a need, based on what you're looking for and our products and services. If there was, great, we build a long-term partnership together. If not, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you guys the best. Very simple.
Yeah. Dude, there's a lot of great information, Navid. Now, I really appreciate you taking the time. And so if we want to become a sales master, where can we find your book?
How to become a sales master, and this is you can find it on Amazon, and the proceeds for this book is going to a charity in Ukraine for people who are impacted by the war. So not 20%, 50% of it, all of it. So not only you will read an amazing sales book with 17 chapters of all the things that I've learned, throughout my career, like some amazing mentors that I've had throughout my entire career. But also, yeah, you would be helping those people as well.
That is awesome, man. I really appreciate you taking the time, and we'll have to do it again sometime. Okay.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right. That's going to wrap up this edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. We'll see you next time.